I'm delighted to have with me Prasanth Kumar, our MMA India co-chair and CEO South Asia GroupM, to help us demystify our recently released marquee report of the year, the Modern Marketing Reckoner 2022, popularly called MMR, done in collaboration with GroupM. This is our fourth edition. And what makes it special is its focus on helping build winning marketing organizations. It is an agile toolkit to help marketers build marketing capabilities that drive growth and performance. The report is inspired by the MMA Global study, which has proven that a 1% improvement in marketing capability fit for firms is associated with a 2.5% increase in sales growth. It also recommends a structured methodology and framework to match capability fit that drive growth and performance for respective businesses. The MMR, on the other side, showcases that how once you know the capability fit, you can work at improving it by strengthening the capabilities. This report is backed by an ecosystem view and curated industry POVs from across 50 contributors to help create customer value and firm value, which together drive business growth and performance, making the organization a winning one. On that note, let me welcome PK once again and get started with our discussion. Hi, PK. So I'm so glad to do this with you and, let our readers understand more perspective from you on the context to the winning marketing organization toolkit that we have jointly built with you and your team, right? So in the report, we talk about how organizations can build winning marketing organizations, right? In light of which, let me start by asking you, what according to you do you think is a winning marketing organization? And how do you think organizations can work towards transforming themselves into one?
Hi, Monica. First of all, equally delighted to be here and great to see that the MMR is out in the market and, it's a great effort that both the teams have put in. So,
Absolutely.
as rightly mentioned, it's also inspired from the global MMA effort. Let me plunge straight into the trying to answer the question which you said, which is what according to us is a winning marketing organization and how do we think companies can transform. So firstly, the key point is that there is a quantum change in the way consumers are evolving. That both in pace as well as the ingredients of evolution. Therefore, firstly, it is important to understand, for every organization that why it is important to transform into being a winning marketing organization. And this necessitates looking at the consumption of the consumer through multiple legs, right? And therefore, it's only appropriate that data is looked into it in a very critical form.
Right.
Which essentially means that they need to invest into data and not just data, into technology, to not understand the consumer, but to able to predict the future trends. Because if a marketing organization does not do this, there is a potential chance that they might miss the pace or the ingredients to make themselves a winning marketing organization. Secondly, while one might invest in data and technology to understand predict changes in the consumer world, responding with agility, becomes equally important.
Right.
As a winning marketing organization, they need to be nimble and should be fluid in their structure, their organizational system, their making processes, and so on. Right? The structures should enable and empower people to take decisions quickly and in an almost informed manner, and therefore maybe even at many times real-time manner. Right. Thirdly, I think it's also important to observe that there could be between organizations there could be a distinction, especially for winning marketing organization. And this only means that marketers need to invest and equip themselves to be fit for winning and success, right? An analogy is like going to the gym, right? When you go to the gym, you might, lose a couple of kilos in the short term, but what is essential is to keep yourself fit. And therefore, you are able to keep on, getting into the continuous momentum of winning, every single step. And therefore, marketing organization needs to do the same. This calls for a change in the mindset, actually, in the leadership. Most marketing has traditionally been measured against sales. However, a mindset shift needs to happen where marketers need to invest in data, technology, and right people that can help them to equip and make them fit. So to say, to win in a world which is volatile and changing.
Very interesting. Very interesting. I do love the analogy you shared around fitness and gymming in context of how organizations actually need to replicate a regime like that. That makes so much sense. So on that note, let me talk a little about the consumer value aspect in the report, right? Which we've kind of, highlighted in context of a 3E framework, which is essentially the three tenets being exchange, experience, and engage, right? Which wherein one could over-index over the other depending on the business objectives that need to be met, right? The report clearly spells out that 86% of customers are willing to pay for better experiences, right? So in your view, how should marketers connect and engage with consumers in this ever-changing world where the consumer is actually changing faster than businesses can? So what are your thoughts there?
Yeah, fundamentally, very again integral part of marketing, right? In fact, there is no business if marketing without consumers are seen, right? In fact, consumers are the people are the center of all marketing.
Sure.
We all will agree that the most fundamental job of a marketer is to not just understand its consumer, but to also able to live in the skin of a consumer, right? As I mentioned earlier, since everything we are seeing around is changing, it is therefore important for every marketer to not only understand those changes, but also understand the impact those changes have on the consumer as a person,
right?
Their behavior or her behavior, right? This means understanding the cultural and the behavioral aspect of the consumer deeply, and use this to continuously and consistently interact and engage with them. Become very critical. What it enables brands to do is to meaningfully influence consumers and also lead with purposeful marketing. Right? Purposeful marketing is what helps makes a difference to the life of consumer, and it goes beyond selling a product or a service. Right?
Sure.
Brands who actually does this well, they should have their pulse on culture and behavioral science, connect and engage with consumers beyond metrics, like sales or any of those aspects. But the connection in what in jargon called brand love will be achieved, for brands who do this pretty well. Right? That's what it is.
Lovely, lovely. Yes, on that note, we spoke about brand love, and for brand love to really blossom, winning marketing organizations do require growth mindset, right? There is a lot of unlearning and new learning needed. There is need, like you said, to implement data, invest into data and tech in a form which has never been done before, right? So according to you, how should modern marketing organizations leverage the opportunity which is provided in the digital era to capture data, generate insights, and therefore connect and engage better with consumers? How do you think that could be done more effectively?
I think in order to answer this, it's also important to look a few steps back. And if you look at a few decades back, where we used to connect with consumers and understand them through research surveys and going and talking to them and observing and observational research where we take insights from there. There was always a limitation with respect to scale on how many people we could talk, right? Observe at certain time. Fortunately, that limitation no longer exists in modern marketing of today. In fact, we all know that the digital acceleration and this digital era has opened up immense opportunities. In fact, opportunities that understand consumer behavior, what they watch, what they search for, what they talk about, or whatever they shop, and also how they interact with others and so much more.
Correct.
Now, there are two kinds of consumers which a marketer need to understand: potential consumers and existing consumers. Right? Any business, if you look at it. What people do in the digital ecosystem gives brilliant insights into potential consumers, and marketers should invest in deep deep into that data. In fact, whether it is social listening or search trends or shopping behavior, any of the apps usage, what they watch, or any of those, right? In fact, to enable such things, we at GroupM have our own DMP platform, which has phone plus device IDs and tracks up to 900 plus digital signals.
Wow.
These digital signals can then be mapped with physical data like location, travel, etc., which gives deep and holistic consumer behavioral insights, right? And in fact, that is very useful. Also, the fact is that we also know that a cookieless world is just around the corner. Marketers ideally should gear up for that kind of situation, invest in building and scaling their own first-party data. Gives them a granular understanding of the entire consumer journey. Customer data platforms and investing in MarTech and AdTech stacks is now a very critical, and of course for some, it is quite a hygiene factor also, right? However, in all of this, it is important to ensure that data privacy regulations are being followed. In fact, MMA and GroupM, I believe, have been at the forefront in terms of best practices, not just with respect to data privacy, but also brand safety.
Yes, correct.
Marketers should always adhere to those.
Fantastic. Makes so much sense. I really feel like I'm sitting in an academy and I'm getting some advice from an absolute expert in the industry. This is wonderful. So let me dig a little more. All right. So, I'm going to throw some very eye-opening data points at you, and I'm going to then ask you to help demystify those findings, which are straight from the report, right? So, in the report, it says that implementation of AR-enabled commerce leads to a 94% rise in sales, right? And 97% of consumers who use AR once want to use it for every shopping experience. Now, that's quite eye-opening, even if it's on a smaller base, but that's rich, right? So in context of this data, the question to you is, future technologies and trends like metaverse, AR, VR, AI have already started affecting the industry in a big way, right? So what, according to you, will be the impact of this on modern marketing in the years to come?
Okay, that's I think in many people's mind, this is a constant question, especially in the last few months, right? And, the leaps and bounds which technology is taking in terms of user experience is absolutely fascinating, and to say the least, is game changing as well, right? In fact, all of us are also aware that this will have a huge impact on marketing in years to come. For the simple reason that this will revolutionize the way people interact with digital world. AR, VR has been there for a while. We all know that. And now with the advent of metaverse and NFTs, the lines between physical and digital world is rapidly disappearing. In fact, you have people who can live a whole digital life, giving brands the opportunity to market to them in that world. We have seen some of the examples already. The way they have done it till now in the physical world versus in the virtual world is something which we are seeing how that narrows the gap, right? Most importantly, with Web 3.0, the user is in charge and in control.
Right.
Therefore, not only need to use and leverage technologies which enable them to communicate in these spaces, but they also need to rethink the way they communicate in an already challenging attention deficit economy. In fact, technologies like voice, for instance, have and continue to offer opportunities in a country like ours, where many areas are media dark, and many brands have used this route very successfully, as we know. These technologies are relatively new, and all of us are learning. My suggestion to marketers is to experiment and learn and find many ways which works for them and their brands.
Makes so much sense. It's totally true that this is a very immersive space and it enhances experience in a very big way. So I agree with you. Experimentation is absolutely important, and building your own respective use cases is key out of it, right? So now, another very, very important aspect, which I really think is important for our listeners to capture from somebody like you, who's at the helm of affairs and runs such a big portfolio, right? So see, agencies play a very big role in the marketing efforts of organizations. In fact, in many ways, they are the extended marketing the team of the organization, and a very integral part of their marketing efforts, right? So what is it that agencies so what are the efforts which agencies need to make towards making their client organizations winning marketing organizations? What do you think they could do more to to make them be catch up faster than where they are right now?
Yeah, it's so true. And this is probably a great opportunity for every agency or people who are part of the ecosystem to explore multiple opportunities,
Right.
And help marketers to become winning marketing organizations, right? In fact, in many ways, we as agencies are intrinsic part of clients' marketing organization.
Correct.
Agencies also carry the trust of marketers in many way that every marketing dollar is being spent. There's a huge trust which also comes along with a lot of responsibility and accountability, of course, right? And we see this in multiple ways, which make their client organization winning marketing organization, right? One is essentially, I think it's absolutely important in leading clients into change, where we help agencies have to first invest into knowledge as well as develop expertise in the areas of data, emerging tech, measurement, and consumer insights. And if clients need to stay one step ahead, agencies need to stay 5 steps ahead, right? It starts with that. So we also should have rich experience of dealing with multiple brands across multiple categories. And this collective knowledge and best practices is what should apply to lead their clients towards transformation. And this actually collective leverage will also help them to get clients to become winning marketing organizations. The other point is on consulting. I think agencies no longer just make creative and media plans. Their role is consultative in nature and to be the trusted transformation partners of clients. We need to co-own and co-create the transformation journey of each client, right? The third point could be to look at from a best practices and accountability. Agencies, along with other industry bodies like MMA, as well as data tech platform measurement partners, also bear the responsibility of investing in creating best practices. Not only in the areas of tools, but measurement frameworks and so on. So the onus lies on agencies to create solutions and norm which marketers can use. In fact, we all know that diversity can inspire and drive innovations. But I also feel that evolution and sensing evolution and therefore creating new opportunities should drive transformation. And that accountability is something which every agency needs to look at, in capturing signals of evolution, capturing what's happening on the ground, learning consumers better, and therefore leverage all of this to help each client to transform, right? And help in their business outcomes. That's where it is.
Brilliant. Coincidentally, you spoke about evolution, and that was exactly the theme at Impact, where the message to the industry was to evolve to be able to build a winning marketing organization. So I couldn't agree more with you. And yes, you're absolutely right. Agencies need to stay 5 steps ahead in the game, and they completely need to co-own the charter with their clients hand in hand. So I'm sure all those tips would be extremely helpful to our partners who are listening or going to consume this later. So with that, it brings me to my last question. MMA and GroupM have been doing an ecosystem report now for quite some time. This is our 4th edition, which we're doing jointly. And of course, this year is very, very rich and wholesome in terms of the theme that we've tried to build into the report. So given the effort that's gone behind it, like you said, that there's been a lot of rigor to this, and that there are 50 contributors who have participated in this report, along with, of course, GroupM experts, MMA members, all of them put together. Having said that, what do you think marketers could learn from the MMR, which we've released together? And why do you think it is a must-download toolkit for marketers as well as your clients, of course?
Yeah, so Monica, You are very right. Both MMA and GroupM have been coming together for a few years now to publish the MMR. And what started out a few years back as an ecosystem update has now morphed into a MMR. The whole idea is to bring together the credibility, the width, and the depth, working along with MMA and the expertise of GroupM, which can actually craft something that marketers can use as a guide. Right? In fact, I'm very delighted that this document, when we ourselves looked into it, it's come as a best practices document, and they're already recognized. Right? In my view, the three key takeaways of from the MMR is there is a here and now utility of this report. Right? Marketers can refer to it, learn from it, and apply it towards leading transformation. And while there is here and now utility, the report is also not short-lived. It goes beyond short-term and tactical into even medium, long-term and strategic, requirements. Second one is marketing is built around many best practices and frameworks. What this report enables marketers to do is to contemporize it and show old perspective, which can be applied in new manner, which is necessary for the modern world. And the third one, as I said, takeaway could be the third one is in no other place would one find the coming together of so many illustrious minds of the marketing world. So we have captured that. Yes. There are marketers from different industries who have dealt with multiple and varied consumer cohorts. Their rich experiences, their expertise, perspectives have come together in this report. And that also comes out as a chart out, it charts out what it takes to be a winning marketing organization. So it's a great read. It's a fantastic read. I think it is a must download kit for marketers. I think they can also use it for many years to come to make themselves a winning marketing organization.
Absolutely agree with that. It has a very long-term value. It is not something which sort of ceases to become relevant after 2022. It definitely has a long-term value. Therefore, we call it a toolkit which marketers can leverage. And you've totally hit the right chords in terms of the reasons why they should be downloading it. It is a ready reckoner which they must have access to, and it is definitely a must download. So on that note, just to sum up this discussion, so brands that are able to rethink the role of marketing from a siloed function to a critical pillar accountable for growth of the company are the ones who are going to stay ahead of the curve, whilst that would mean they need to be more customer centric, decentralized, externally connected, and that will be the secret sauce that helps build winning marketing organizations, which comes at the back of strengthening customer value and firm value. On that note, PK, I completely appreciate your participation in this discussion and a true collaboration in putting this report together, which is completely a milestone initiative for MMA. With this discussion, it also brings alive a lot of key perspectives, which we did want to unravel from the report. I'm sure there is a lot that our readers will take away from it. Thank you again, and lovely to have had this discussion with you.
Thank you, Moneka. Always a delight to chat with you, and all the best. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you very much.